counterculture becomes the dominant culture. That, I think, is true. I agree with that sentiment.
And we're slowly but surely in 2020 entering
We're getting there. We're definitely getting there.
Where the counterculture is slowly
overtaking everything, and it's a good thing they're not scanners.
Yep.
One of my favorite things, as I'm collecting these, a novelization by Leon Whiteson entitled David Cronenberg Scanners was released in 1981. I love a novelization, I can't lie. So Scanners spawned sequels and a series of spin-offs. Scanners 2, The New Order, and Scanners 3, The Takeover were the original sequels. Scanner Cop and Scanners The Showdown, also known as Scanner Cop 2, were released. None of these projects involved Cronenberg. You can tell. Trust me.
Like, I think he said all he could say with Scanners, guys. You don't have to...
It's funny you should say that. In July of 2011, it was announced that Dimension was planning to develop a television series, but nothing came of it. Another attempt to develop the concept into a television series was announced in September of 2017. Nothing came of that either. In February 2007, Darren Lynn Bousman was announced as director of a remake of the film to be released by the Weinstein Company and Dimension Films. David S. Goyer was assigned to script the film that was planned for release on October 17th, 2008.
I'm sure it would have been a fucking doozy if it happened.
But also nothing ever came of it because, and we actually know this one, in an interview with Bousman in 2013, he recalled that he would not make the film without Cronenberg's approval, which he was not granted.
Yes, good.
That's what you should do.
Because Cronenberg's comes from a time where that shit's kind of sacred to him. Like, you cannot take one of my babies and remake it.
Yeah. Some are cool with it, and you can get good results. I mean...
You'll see yourself out, Mr. Goyer.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you shit on David Goyer, but he's made some successful films.
That's great.
I didn't say they were good.
No. And Michael Bay's directed several
everybody
billion-dollar
everybody
projects.
on the planet but me likes The Dark Knight, and he wrote that.
Yeah.
So, I'm the only one who doesn't like that movie, but that seems to be popular. People like that. He also did Batman Begins, so I can't shit on him too hard. But
I just love that you just low-key just dropped the shit bomb on Dark Knight, and half the people listening probably like, wait, the fuck did you say?
I do not shy away from the fact that I don't like The Dark Knight. I've never at one point in time ever hidden away from it. I don't fucking care. I don't think it's a strong movie.
Come at me, bro.
I think it's a very, very badly made film with a good performance. That's it. Tell me I'm wrong.
Cool.
Please. Send all of your hate to me. I will fucking respond happily. But that is what it is. I had something else to say and I got lost on a tangent there. Fuck.
Is it coming?
Oh yeah. So we were talking about remakes and stuff.
Yeah.
If you involve the filmmaker and they want to do it, you can get good remakes. Wes Craven's been involved in most of the remakes of his films, and they've all turned out to be pretty good.
And screaming, right?
Yeah, but
sometimes just the money's right.
Yeah, but he was all for it.
Oh, yeah.
Like The Hills Have Eyes was a solid remake. The Last House on the Left was a solid remake. And I know what you're thinking. Nightmare on Elm Street was not a solid remake. They purposely didn't want Wes Craven involved in that. He asked if they wanted his help, and they're like, "No, we got this, buddy."
And then
that movie was dog shit.
So
what am I saying? You know what I mean?
Lesson learned: when you're remaking something, try, if they are alive, try to involve the original.
They might surprise you by maybe knowing the product better than you do. Just a thought.
Mm-hmm. So we start with Scanners, and we get a man, a little disheveled, one would think homeless.
Yep.
This turns out to be Cameron Vale. In the most 80th-rific mall/food court you ever did see. In Montreal, you can tell because when the chase happens, they run by La Cinema.
As it turns out, we don't have those in every cinema in Canada.
No, just in the French one. I will say this.
Yeah.
The MVP, I did pick an actor, but I was very tempted to pick the score.
The score is dope.
Because this score is one of the greatest scores I've ever heard in my life.
It is equally really good at what it does, but it's so 80s synth heavy, and I'm a big fan of 80s synth horror scores.
That's the thing. I've recently gotten into listening to because it's all, if you just type in 80s synth on YouTube, you get a laundry list of just different hour-long playlists of just 80s style, 80s sounding synth wave and synth horror and synth everything. Like, there's a reason why Stranger Things sounds so, as good as it does. It's because they took this kind of sound, this like hard, fucking, I don't know how to describe it, this hard tone.
It's very jarring and very uncomfortable.
You know?
And that's kind of what you want in a horror score, in my opinion.
Because you'll hit the dun dun, but then you'll dun 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 dun. Like, it'll weave in and out of like hard and soft tones. And this entire scene, him going through the mall, smoking in the mall because it's the 80s.
Yeah. I remember those days.
Super dope 80s, like Pogo.
Yeah.
Pogo advertisement?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Pogo. I remember.
Dude, I have Pogos like once a year because I'm like, they still exist. I feel like I need to give them a couple bucks. I like them. I like the
Good
idea
on you,
of them.
Pogos.
You know, I like Pogos. After about a box of them, I don't remember how many come in a box, but
they vary.
However
you can get a small box, big box.
However long it takes me to go through that box, once I'm at the end of that, I'm like, yeah, I'm good for a long while.
Good on the cornmeal and the hot
But
dogs,
every
thanks.
now and then, nothing tastes better than a good Pogo. I ain't gonna lie.
So he sits down and he's hearing these two women have a conversation. But not them talking, correct? It's them talking, but then them.
It's both. It's a combination of both. Like,
and
they're
he
talking
doesn't
to each other.
understand what's happening.
Yeah, like they're talking to each other and saying, "Look at that fucking scumbag," or whatever. And then in her head, she's saying infinitely worse.
Yeah.
And he's hearing it, so he starts to stare at her, and he starts to do the head twist, which is the universal scanner sign. Because trust me, they all do it. And then she starts to feel uncomfortable. And she's just not really sure what's going on. She starts shaking. She starts convulsing. And then she falls on the ground. Her friend's trying to figure out what's going on.
Head.
Yeah. And, like, clearly shit's going down.
Everyone's focusing on her except for two guys who are looking at him.
Yeah.
And they're like, all right, get him.
Yeah, they're noticing the eye
chase
contact.
him.
Yeah.
And they go on a chase around the mall. He does a little parkour action where he hops from one escalator to another.
Not very good parkour.
No, it's lazy parkour.
It very much is. It's clearly 80s,
80s parkour.
Every man parkour.
Like, you know what, 1981? Did David Cronenberg invent parkour?
He might have. I mean, parkour is technically French. They were in Montreal. That counts. Although, if we have any listeners from France, I do apologize for calling Montreal French.
Yeah,
I know you don't like that. I know you don't like that.
Apologies to the
the French people.
French proper. He gets hit with a dart, and then just
and then he just collapses,
and then collapses at the foot of the two men, and he is taken.
It's weird because when he hits I had a weird response to this because when he gets to the elevator or the escalator,
The end of it.
yeah, I'm literally going, oh god, he's gonna get hurt at the end.
Like,
of that,
he's gonna get
we've
caught.
we've always been taught to like step off the escalator, and I was so afraid that something bad was gonna happen. And he just sort of thumped against it. And I, for some reason, expected something different to happen.
Caught or
something. I thought something different was going to happen.
But no, they just grab him.
Yeah.
And they bring him to see what we can only assume is a doctor, and it turns out to be Dr. Paul Ruth.
The laziest human being on the planet.
Well, he just comes in and just has this, like, small, so, like, lower tone.
But it's not even just that. Wait until you see the scenes where he's sitting down. He just fucking slumps into every chair and sort of looks at you in a very quiet way. I'm like...
It's very mean, too. He's like, you are miscreant, you are deviant, like, you're garbage!
Yeah. And considering what
like,
we find out...
Hey, man, first off, I'm tied down. I don't know what just happened, and now you're insulting me.
And considering what we find out about him in the end, wow, he really is a dick.
Yeah.
You know?
So he brings in a class of people who are not saying anything, but Cameron can hear all of them. And he's a bit of a... Hurry up, everyone. Hurry up. Yeah. Hurry up. Get in there.
Get your ass in here. God damn it. Move.
There's like a class of 50 people, and he's just... He's doing the scanner thing again and freaking out. Cut to a... It's a university room, right?
Yes.
It's not a university class. It's a bunch of, like... We find out it's, like, business types and... important people, you know, like
it's
from around the world. Yeah,
it's the I don't know. Yeah, I guess university counts.
Well, it's a university classroom used as like a meeting
business
hall
room or whatever because it's the corporation.
Because this is Consect, the company that is bringing scanners to the world because the world doesn't know what a scanner is yet.
Mm-hmm.
So they have a scanner
Yes.
on payroll, and he's going to demonstrate his power.
Yeah.
So I need a volunteer. One of you, come on up. Doesn't matter who.
And
I'm
everybody's
going to
looking
scan
around.
your mind.
Yeah, and he
Like,
explains, like, you're going to feel nauseous, you're going to feel, there's probably going to be nose bleeding, you're going to have a headache, a migraine. Things are going to go badly for you.
And we're... So not all at once.
Yeah. So nobody clearly volunteers.
And then, it's scanning the room, and I'm like, well, I only recognize Michael Ironside, so...
Well, it wasn't even just that. I'm like, I wonder if you're going to be the villain today. Because Michael Ironside has a distinct look. And I'm sorry, as soon as you see him anywhere, you're like, well, clearly you're the villain.
Which is why it was so jarring in Starship Troopers, where
he wasn't the villain, but he was still a dick.
Well, he's Michael Ironside. So we get Michael Ironside, Daryl Revick, we find out.
Mm-hmm.
He volunteers. He goes down. He's as cool as a cucumber. So I'm like, right there, if you're the scanner, you should be worried.
Yep.
Because you just described that this guy's going to have the worst headache ever.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be super sick.
Yeah.
And he's fine. He's just chilling.
He's just like, okay.
Like a villain.
Yeah.
Going like, all right, let's
like,
go.
all right, so I want you to think of something. It's like, oh, should I say it out loud? No? Okay. I'll just...
Personal?
Okay. Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Just nothing you'd be afraid to admit in front of these people. It's like, okay, cool. All right, I got it. Should I close my eyes? No, it doesn't matter. Okay, I got... Like, he's so calm, and I'm like, yeah, how do you not realize something bad's going to happen right now?
So he starts the scan.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not going well for him.
Yeah. Turns out the scanner seems to have an uncomfortable day. Now, why is that?
We cut to Revick, and he's just going off, like shaking his head and with a big grin, and I think he's growling at a certain point.
He kind of was.
A little bit of...
Yeah, he's clearly enjoying himself.
And then it happens.
The meme of all memes.
Kaboom!
Boom! Head explodes.
Crowd freaks the fuck out.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's running for the hills. They grab him
and
start asking him, "Who are you? What
did you do?" I didn't do anything.
Yeah, he's like, "I did nothing."
Yeah. Okay.
So they pull him in. They got a gun on him.
Mm-hmm.
They have the doctor. All right, hit him with the ephemeral because they're assuming he's a scanner as well.
Yeah.
Because I mean,
well, clearly something happened.
His head exploded.
And as they said, ephemeral doesn't affect anybody else. So what's the harm in giving him the injection? But of course,
it does because he scans the doctor to hit himself with the ephemeral.
But it doesn't affect humans.
So
like, it doesn't affect regular humans. So that's how he's able to get away with it.
See, I think that's where it was a poor acting choice by the Dr. Gatineau.
Who seems like he doesn't want to do it.
No. Once he hits himself with it, he then goes,
Yeah, I don't know why.
You know what I mean? He
guessing,
appears loopy once he injects himself with the ephemeral.
I feel like that might have something to do with writing it as we go.
Yeah.
Because it really is.
Because you notice that too,
Yeah,
right?
Oh, absolutely. There's a lot of inconsistencies.
Because he has to act like he's being coerced to doing it.
Yeah. And he seems...
Like, his hand starts to shake as he, like, hits him. First off, the other guys don't notice that he didn't inject.
Yeah, I thought that, too. It seemed...
Like, you're all looking down
to
see if he's being injected. You don't see the doctor injecting himself.
Yeah, so what happens is the doctor's holding Revick's arm, and then instead of injecting him with it, he injects his own hand with the ephemeral. And yeah, even though they're all staring at him, they don't seem to notice that he didn't inject himself.
But he still acts like he got injected. He goes, oh, and then he goes out.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're bringing him on a car to, I think, well, they weren't at Consect, I guess. So they were bringing him to Consect.
Yes.
He's in a car with just some nameless guys.
Couple guys.
3 nameless guys.
Taking him back and just like...
The guys who grabbed him.
Yeah, and they're having a conversation about scanners.
And there's a second car?
Yeah, there's a car that's in back of them as security.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they're just having a conversation with, like, oh, scanners, they don't want them around, and blah, 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 and everybody's afraid of them. A little bit of exposition as to scanners in this world. Then all of a sudden, that car starts to speed up. And Revick opens his eyes, but then closes them again. And, yeah, that other car speeding up, goes from them, like, hey, you need to get back, and then it fucking literally crashes into something and explodes.
Yep. Well, he's like the guy in the passenger's like, I will shoot you if you don't slow down, and then they just crash and they both die.
Yeah.
They slow down to assess the crash.
Mm-hmm.
Revick scans the man with the gun to shoot the 2 guys in the driver's seat and the passenger seat, and then himself.
Mm-hmm.
And then he kind of just walks free.
Well, scanners.
Yep. We cut to Brendan Keller, the new head of security at Consect, in a boardroom with a very bored-looking Dr. Ruth, who's
slumped in a chair.
Who I've never seen a man slumped more in a chair
until
his chin was on his chest.
Until his next scene when he does the same.